Hey, how's it going? Not much, probably. Happy New Year. I'm recording this, it's just turned the 3rd of January, so I hope you're having a good break and celebrating New Year. This video won't be too long, just about one specific topic. Uh, I got the idea for these video things off a video game developer, Jules Watson does. He's a developer of Renegade Kid. You might remember him from Mutant Mudds. Check that out. The PC version's out now. It's coming out on every platform under the sun. But it's just about 3DS piracy and how piracy completely annihilated the DS market, according to some people, with the R4 cartridges that enabled people to load games and stuff. And it did. It really did. That's why you saw a lot of DS games being shovelware and all that kind of thing, because the only people that were actually buying DS games were all kids and stuff. So you got lots of Cooking Mama and Sports Brats or whatever, the Ubisoft rubbish games. And it would, and the 3DS market is probably at a bit of a risk. The 3DS isn't doing extremely well, and you don't want that to be subject to piracy. But it brings up an interesting point of region locking. A common reason people try to hack systems and break them is under the premise of region locking and getting an open market, and that's how they get all the support and stuff. And it's an interesting thought that I don't think a lot of people knew, that the only console manufacturer in the world that currently has region lockings are Nintendo's. With Sony, the Vita, the PlayStation Portable, and the PlayStation 3 completely region-free. For the most part, there are one or two games that are region-locked, but this is generally due to music or track licensing issues, but for the most part, region-free. With the Xbox 360, it is kind of region-locked, in that developers and publishers choose to implement region locking on titles. For a comparison, I wrote a list. I went through IGN's top 40 games of the year for Xbox 360 just in reverse order. Only 7 of them were region locked. So out of the top 40, Dishonored, FIFA 13, Dead or Alive 5, The Witcher 2, Sleeping Dogs, NCAA 13 Football, and Final Fantasy 13 2 were region locked on Xbox 360. Every other game, the top 40 reviewed scored games this year at IGN.com, were region free, including Halo, Mass Effect, Call of Duty, Borderlands 2, Madden, SSX, Far Cry 3, Assassin's Creed. Every other game are completely region free. They do not contain region locking. You can take this SSX and play it on any Xbox 360 ever made or working on, or even Halo 4. There is no region locking on these titles. However, with the Wii, with the 3DS, the Wii U, and DSi, they are completely region locked. They're divided into 3 regions of the Americas, Europe and Australasia, and Japan, which is ironic because Japan's small. However, is that right? I've heard a lot of justification as to why region locking exists for market parity. I've even heard them say like the ESRB ratings need to be specified for each region, like you got to have the adult lockout for all that kind of thing. But surely if that was the case, if you were able to get the master password or disable the ESRB checks or the Office for Film and Literature classification, which is the Australian version of that, or PEGI in America, if you said, no, don't check for the age rating, I'm an adult, just all available, then why is the region locking still in effect? Now, in the past, there have been attempts to bypass the region locking without hacking a system, as evidenced by this. This is a Freeloader by Dattel that came out for Wii, and you put this dinky disc into your Wii and enable you to play games from all regions without exception. The interesting thing with a product like this is it was disabled with a firmware upgrade from Nintendo, which was required to play some games. Now, the way around that is to break the system, is to crack into it and then get control of it so you can regulate and monitor firmware upgrades and like kind of strip apart the upgrade so you only get the new stuff and you don't get anything that's going to block out your method to bypass region locking. But the downside of this is that in order to get such control, you violate piracy, you enable piracy, you strip apart the mechanism that prevents pirated things from being done. And I'm so against that. I really think piracy is something that can't be justified. You can't justify, well, I want an R4 cart just to have all my games on my system. You don't get to dictate the terms of your system like that. And I know that's kind of hypocritical, considering I'm saying you shouldn't have region locking, but region locking seems something very abstract. There's no longer the technological limitation. There are no technical differences between a 3DS unit from Japan and from America. They are compatible. There's no differences in the TVs. Even today with HD TVs, the difference between the PAL system and the NTSC system is rather gone. Most TVs accept both, frame rates don't matter. In fact, a large amount of games, including this, Halo 4, will only run on 60Hz. They will not run on 50Hz, the old PAL style, just because no TVs except for an old one from the 50s will actually just run that PAL style. I know I'm rambling on, but this is the point. Nintendo is really provoking with region locking. Now, I don't think if they eliminated region locking it's going to eliminate the attempts to hack and reverse engineer the 3DS or even the Wii U, but it'd take away that excuse for people to do it, for people to look up the hacks to do that kind of thing, if region locking wasn't in place. It's just silly. You think about the 3DS, people go travelling with it. It's literally a 5-hour plane ride from where I am to another 3DS region, and they sell games at the airports. I've seen 3DS games in vending machines. And if a kid's going travelling overseas, how absurd is it that he can't buy games? Kids might go to Disneyland for a vacation. It's getting cheaper and cheaper to do that. If you're a cruise liner going from one port to another, say you're going from, I don't know, they probably don't cruise across the Atlantic. Say you're going on a Pacific cruise, what region of 3DSs do they sell on the boat? Because they would sell those kind of things. They'll sell anything they can. Anyway, Jules Watson of Renegade Kid said about the 3DS and how region locking isn't an excuse for hacking. It isn't an excuse for something that's going to lead to piracy, but anyone doing reverse engineering or hacking is going to open up the system and it's going to be made possible. So it's a catch-22. I don't know, I don't really have a valid conclusion to come to this. It's just that region locking is a real shame. Nintendo is the only manufacturer actually doing it. Oh well, I'd like to see your comments. If you have anything to say about the state of 3DS, Wii U, or even the upcoming consoles that are bound to be coming out next year and their reverse engineering and hacking methods, please leave them in the comments below. Are you affected by region locking? Does it really tick you off? I know there's a big campaign on Twitter @EdRegionLocking. It's an interesting thing to follow, and I really do hope Nintendo does play suit. You can kind of understand the reasons for having it, but it's not a big enough excuse. Anyway, I'm rambling on too long. The point is, piracy, bad. Reverse engineering and hacking leads to piracy. Region locking, very bad. There's no excuse for it in this modern world. Thank you, please subscribe and you'll get more of these videos in this weird room with late at night, that kind of thing. Thanks to Jules Watson. Follow his Twitter @JoolsWatsham. Follow him on Twitter, he does some really good stuff. Check out Mutant Muds on 3DS, PC and iPhone, I think. Really great game, really hard. And thank you for watching. Comment below.